Good morning. We've been having rain all week, so it's very exciting. Things are looking less dead because we don't water the lawn. And some parts of the garden have exploded, some parts of the garden have changed, but mostly we have new baby chickens who are super dumb and are trying to escape. Hello, little chicken. Be less stupid. There you go. Hi, guys. Let's get you some breakfast. So yeah, new babies. Babies are dumb. Well, it is time to put these little butts in the coop and introduce them to their mama. Baby chickens are so dumb. Blondie was in here, Red was stuck in the run, and Brown ran outside and was not in the coop or the run at all, because there is one little section that has the chicken wire that's big enough for baby chicks to fit through, and they did, because they are dumb. They're fine though. I'm gonna go get them some food and some water, because that was stressful. Well, it's Sunday. I did like a whole thing yesterday, and I recorded my garden tour, and then I went to edit my garden tour, and I was like, oh, this is terrible. So I'm gonna reshoot it. I might like splice in some of the stuff that wasn't terrible from yesterday. But yeah, just I'm gonna try to suck less today. This is the weird bean and tomato volunteer mums and beatbox. That's kind of fun to say, beatbox. But I need to come back and harvest these. We had a bunch of rain, and I was going to save these seeds, but it's just been like way too wet for me to save any of them because they've been way too wet. Blueberries are still going strong. These Brussels sprouts have seen much better days. We've had lots and lots and lots of caterpillar damage. Fennel and eggplant, which are actually doing really well. So they're happy, but other things are not, including the sad state of these two blueberries. Seems like a big old mistake. Yeah, tomatoes and squash, random mushroom popping up in the middle. Yeah, our soil is super healthy. My weird birch tree that just came up from nothing. I trim it back every year because otherwise it'll be like those guys and just 100 feet tall and crazy in the yard. So I will trim off these lower branches and shape him back and top him down again. So I top him every year just so that he doesn't get out of control. In theory, we should be able to harvest birch syrup from him, which is the only reason they're allowed to stay. And it's not a bad place to make a little shade and microclimate in here. Strawberries and runners coming off, so, and then weeds, because Fraser lettuce is real. But there are little strawberry runners coming off of these. Same thing, I need to deadhead my calendula, but I need a drier day. So, but these are all setting really nice seeds, and then I can save those for next year. Tomatoes, zucchinis are still doing good, but that cucumber does not look happy, and they frankly have not been tasting very good, so I'm going to pull that out today. Yeah, this is my favorite little sunflower that just volunteered and is huge and beautiful, and I'm going to need to save them, those seeds when they're ready. These are sunflowers that are just overcrowded, so they're really, really tiny. So these are actually trying to make flowers, so that's actually going to be really cute in a week, I think. This box is doing okay. These peas are coming up. They should replace. There's beans on the backside, which are now getting tall enough, and they're starting to set blossoms. So eventually I will train them into this latticework if they get that tall. The kohlrabi, even though they're really small and they've just been attacked by pests, actually super tasty. So I'm not mad about these. And I'm very glad that I've planted more, and hopefully we'll have better growing conditions and they will be more tasty. More nasturtiums and calendula. We've got broccoli shoots that I should harvest, these guys, and then make them for breakfast. More squash, always more squash. Always more squash. And then I harvested the first tomatoes from the plants outside last night. We have a bunch of pumpkins coming along, which is kind of awesome. This plant gave us our first pumpkin, the biggest pumpkin, and then it got kind of decimated in this war against the tomato. But now we have a bunch of females coming along, and I took a yellow squash and I hand pollinated a couple of these because I was worried about them actually getting set. So that is going to make me a pumpkin, but every single blossom that's on here is female. So if all of these get pollinated, which I don't know that they will, but there are a ton of them, we will get like 10 more pumpkins off this plant. Which if I had torn it out when it broke and I harvested that first one, that's like, just leave it. If the plant isn't sick, right, like, it's doing okay. And then I just need to come through and I need to harvest this because we've had rain all week, so we're just getting some powdery mildew issues here, and I'd rather not like let the powdery mildew on this zucchini spread to my pumpkin. But that is also what's happening with my cucumbers here. Both cucumbers, they did not do well in this last week with all of the rain. We have a lot of powdery mildew that I need to take them out. And frankly, the cucumbers haven't been very good this year, so I'm not mad about them going away. We're getting raspberries because they are delicious. This experiment is doing very well. I've been just clipping off the peas that died because they got sun scorched because it was too hot. And then this one, it has just the microclimate of that to here. These peas are doing much better and they're starting to flower and we're going to get peas. And this pumpkin is growing a little bit more, right? So like, just, this has a little dappled shade in the afternoon, whereas that one does not. And so just comparing the two, you can see what a difference that makes because they're not that far apart, but totally different result. Potatoes, all the potatoes, cabbages. This is the same thing. Hi, white cabbage moth. I'm pretending you're not there. Same thing as the other box over there that we didn't realize the spacing on cabbages, and so this had way too many, and then I thinned them out and only left these 5 to see if they would recover, and they kind of are. This is setting a cabbage, but it's not like the best thing in the world. And stunted, and then I had some lettuce, which I'll give this to the chickens. So I've been just harvesting them as they've been coming up as trees, so that the chickens can have some more fresh greens. It's pretty much what all of this stuff is going for right now. The stuff that's bad and too big and weird is just keeping pests under control and helping to supplement the chicken's diet. Yeah, I did plant some salad in here, but then it got too hot and I didn't water it enough, so I think that they died, which is fine. Like, just a handful of salad seeds tossed in there. It's okay. This is the kale and wood sorrel and carrot box with a little bit of lemon mint, and it's doing okay, but again, I need to come out here and clean stuff up just so that it's a little healthier. And this is all mostly for winter vegetables, right? And I accidentally harvested a carrot that is very small. Fine. So that'll be chicken food. I redid this box, and this one, the salad's actually going. So this is going to be my new salad box for winter salads. And the black frame makes it a little warmer. So this rosemary that shouldn't be able to perennialize here because it's too cold, because it's in this black frame, it gets a little bit of a microclimate, and the sun heats up the wood, and then it keeps it warm enough in our winter that it doesn't die. So this rosemary is, I think, 2.5, 3 years old now. So that's where we get our rosemary for winter, is from this plant. But I also planted some new rosemary in the greenhouse in a bucket, so we should have more than enough for fresh eating of herbs in the winter. But our salads are starting to come up, so we should be getting new salads in another couple of weeks, which will be nice. Okay, my clementine, my box of chaos, mostly nasturtiums. There's a couple of brassicas and maybe some beets hidden in there, and a bean plant that the birds have clearly been going after, which is fine. That's what it is. A couple Brussels sprouts, nasturtium. This nasturtium is gorgeous, and my plan is to save the seeds from this nasturtium and replant this nasturtium, because this yellow is my favorite of them, and it's this weird trailing variety, and I don't know if it's supposed to be a trailing variety, or just because I transplanted that plant 3 times, it just got adventurous. But I really, really think this is gorgeous. So I'm not mad about having that in the garden again next year. Tomatoes that have seen better days. A broccoli that's recovering after cabbage moths. This is just a cabbage that I've been growing since March that I think is funny, because it just keeps not dying, right? Like, it keeps making new leaves. So it was decimated by cabbage moths a couple of times. So yeah, I've been using it as a trap crop, but letting it go. We'll see. My strawberry boxes with a couple brassicas hidden in there. They're good. Greenhouse. The trap baby kales. That tomato, I think, is done. And I need to murder it, take it out, and then replant. Reuse that pot for something else. I also need to water in here. These are the eggplants that volunteered, and so they're doing okay. I don't know that this is ever going to give us any beans. It's really pretty, but it's very weird. Yeah. Eggplants, beets that I should probably eat. New pepper start in there. Bean plant that's seen better days. Need to prune it back. We've got peppers in here and peppers out here, which they're getting ready, so we'll be able to harvest those soon. More peppers down there. Yeah, tomatoes. And then this is all of the chaos. So there's tomatoes and pumpkins and okra and basil, and this is a loofah, right? That's a loofah gourd. That's a melon. This is a melon that's just completely insane. I need to figure something out with this so that it is not just losing its mind. And then, yeah, we've just got a bunch of... This is just going to be a wild jungle corner. And then there's some beets that volunteered in these pots when I went to harvest the beets. And then that's my little okra plant, which is actually looking really pretty. There's just 2 of them in there. This basil at some point took off and I wasn't paying attention, so that's exciting. This might be the best basil I've seen in a while. Yeah, that's gonna be breakfast. So, should use scissors. Okay. Sometimes you think things are gonna work out, and they definitely do not. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is why I'm redoing the video, because yesterday everything was like this. Okay. Let's try that once more with you. I'm probably going to edit this, or I won't, because I'm crazy. Yeah. So basil, tomatoes. That tomato is awesome. This pumpkin I hand pollinated with the yellow squash, hoping we would get a pumpkin, and then it's just going up and around. So this corner is just going to get crazy wild. which is going to be awesome. And hopefully we will get some fruit. And if not, it'll just look really cool here in the middle of fall, because we're already almost to September. Pepper plant that got topped and is surviving, and it's setting new fruit, so that's cool. And then this is the chili pepper. This is a bunch of random experiments and mistakes. So, you know, how we roll here. Experiments and mistakes. And my watermelon, that was from a watermelon that I forgot to eat last year. And then these noodle beans are finally starting to flower. There is a frog that lives in the greenhouse, so sometimes we see him. Tomatoes are still going okay. We're harvesting off those every day. Some of these were broccolis that I had extra seeds, and I just threw them in here because I didn't know where else to put them. And then I threw some kohlrabi on the side. But these were all microgreens, and then they got attacked by the caterpillars, and now they're coming back and might actually give us some like sizable leaves that we can either like treat like kale, or maybe we'll get some late little broccoli shoots, which would be cool. Another tomato plant, just a sucker that I popped into a pot with some basil, and they're just doing super happy. So we'll get another later tomato crop. The tower is doing good. The kohlrabi has sprouted. The kale on the sides are doing okay. They're recovering. And yeah, like it's all starting to look good. I know that there's way too many here, but I'm just going to wait for them to get a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to harvest them young and use them as like a kale replacement. They're sweeter than kale and closer to broccoli in their taste, so I actually really, really like them. I've been very impressed with the kohlrabi. Grapes, we have grapes, and then the original voluntary plants all came from this bucket, and there's just some basil and some perennial chives and this grape plant that is now just winding through the entirety of the greenhouse. So yeah, we're gonna have these two kind of crazy corners, this one and that one, and I'm pretty excited about that. Back to the chickens. These are the butternut squash that are taking over the yard. This has tons and tons and tons of male blossoms, and I haven't seen any female. And I think only 2 of the males have opened so far. So this has just been released. Oh, no, there's some more males that are open down there. But this has just been really slow growing. And this, I don't know what the quality of this vegetable will be, if it will even be edible, because they're seeds from pumpkin that went bad on the counter in the house. And then we just got this cabbage that refuses to die, which that's awesome. And the chickens. So many chickens. And the sweet, sweet little babies. Hey, sweet, sweet. Where's Brown? Yeah, hi Red, on your mom's back. Where's Brown? Yesterday Brown escaped. So I'm kind of worried that he's a crazy escape artist. So I'm just looking out for him. Okay, I see Blonde and I see Red. Where is Brown? Okay. There he is. Hey buddy. Yeah, I know you want to attack the camera. But yeah, I don't know. Trying to get an angle on this little chicken is very silly. I'll go get the food. Maybe he'll come out. Chickens are doing good. The babies are still alive. They are very, very cute. There are 3 of them in that back corner with Mama. And they are learning to scratch, and they are so big, and I don't know, like, if it's because they're a different breed, or if, like, they always got this big this fast, but I feel like these guys are just enormous. And they're only like 4 days old. They hatched on Wednesday and it's Sunday. So, like, but they're so sweet and they're so cute. And Aragorn is a really good mom. And yeah, that's Blondie, Red, and Brownie. Hey, dog. Yeah, we'll get you your guys' breakfast in just a second too. I know, it's not fair. Yes. Hello. I know I said the B word. Alright, and back garden. This one I think actually the video was mostly okay yesterday, which is probably a lie, and I need to redo it, but oh, it is windy and cold and nonsense. The one thing I will show you is my seed starts. So because I've been having so much white cabbage moth problems and just moth problems in general, I put them out here under cover, and I reuse those half pallets, but I don't know if you can tell, but they're doing fine. Like, everything is good and happy in there, and they all transplanted out really well. So we should have winter cabbages and stuff, which will be awesome if I can keep them from blowing away in the wind, which is always the trick with Skåne, because it is very, very windy. And then, yeah, same thing in here. I'm just gonna pop you in there. So, yep. And yeah, things are getting good. And we should have a big bumper crop of basil. All those little clumps are basil. And then I planted carrots and parsnips in here as well. And then these beans. And it's working out. So hopefully we will have food. And I think the dogs just saw a cat or something. So, yeah. Alright. Sorry for the weirdness and the lateness. But the corn is looking awesome. And we're getting squash all the time. And, yeah. Things are happening. And it's gonna rain. I can feel it. So I'm gonna get out of here and let the rain water the rest of the garden. The chickens have been fed, chickens have been watered, greenhouse has been watered, and now it's time for me to go inside and make some breakfast. There we go. There's Brown. There. There's the 3 little babies. Red, Brown, and Blondie. But yeah. And now their mom is teaching them how to eat salad, which is kind of exciting. There's kind of weirdly nothing better than baby chicks. They're so ridiculously cute and sweet. But I think this is also proof of just like how calm my birds are. That like these roosters aren't attacking them, that they're just hanging out. And yeah, it's very easy. Easy good chicks.